whenever we're faced with these challenges and wherever we talk about consistency, the easiest way to break them down, in my opinion, is to make your decisions small and simple and more frequent. Instead of working hard for 3 months or running, this is going to be my best quarter, or this is going to be my best year. If you break that decision down and say, regardless if my knee hurts today, right? Regardless if I have a headache, can I give today the best version of me? And you can go hard for one day, and you just have to recommit, re-ask yourself, remake that decision the next day. And that creates that consistency day in and day out. Mm-hmm. It eliminates emotions and it makes it easy.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. We are here today in studio, and we've got a full table.
We got balloons.
Both sides. There's balloons. I don't know what's going on back here.
We'll get to that.
You know what's going on back here.
There's nothing more gangster than balloons.
Some of you are wondering, who's that guy? You've seen him. Some of you have seen him. Other people are just meeting him. Adam Steffen, media producer of the Life Insurance Academy podcast and all video content extraordinaire right here. Adam Steffen. Give him a big round of applause. We need an applause track laying in over here for Adam. Boom. Adam, what are we celebrating today, man?
So, milestone episode today. I would ask if you guys know about it, but I mean, you don't. It's no, it's.
We just bring our lunch back.
We've got a live studio audience in here today. Right? So we've got a gallery over here, by the way.
Bring our lunchbox and hard hat to work every day. That's all we do. Put our head down, go to the coal mines, dig it out, bring it back up. That's it, Adam. So we don't know what the special is. So do tell.
Well, no. So today is episode 250.
Wow.
So for the last 250 weeks, you guys. We have been putting out content for agents, for agency producers. Just we're trying to make the world better for anyone in the insurance space, is what I've gathered in my little bit of time here. So we, I did some numbers. We have 3 million downloads.
What?
Between audio and YouTube. We are just shy of the 3 million mark.
Bro.
26,000 subscribers. And all from just...
That's just on YouTube.
That's just on YouTube. But all just from three guys that were trying to teach their team, and it grew into this great big thing.
3 guys from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Right. So one thing that I did want to go ahead and bring out, we did obviously the bobbleheads. These are probably more famous than anybody else at this table.
True.
Everyone
we have people that want to come to the studio just so they get the bobblehead shot.
That's the reason why everybody tells me that they thought I was a lot shorter than I am.
You know, I had nothing to do with that. But so I went ahead for 250. I got us a little bit more.
250
for 250 for a little bit more. Studio
what is
ambience.
Happening? You're promoting Roger to the videographer.
What'd you get back
here?
Do
I need to grab this over
what
here?
What is this?
I don't know.
We've got a reveal. Wow. Check that out. That is awesome.
In that same sense of, I forget when it got brought up, but one of you made a joke about this at one point. And so I got with Rose, and we made some phone calls, got on some websites.
Nice.
So obviously we're going to have to rework kind of the studio layout and all of that. But just as
awesome. We've got the gallery over here. Oh, there's something else coming in.
I've got to be careful.
What else is coming in?
Who'd have thunk?
What else is coming in?
Look at this. Congratulations, 250.
Look at that. Look at that. Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you, team. Boom.
That's lovely.
We got Miranda. We got Joshua. We got Rose. We got Adam. We got everybody in studio today. It's happening. This is a big time. I love this, man.
I'll tell you the cool thing about this is...
Let's go.
It's not always been easy.
No.
I mean, you talk about the theme of the day, which is what, Chris?
It is the boring stuff.
The secret sauce, the boring stuff, which is what?
Well, it's effective activity, investment, and goals. That's what it comes down to.
And it all boils down to the
now they
word
know.
of consistency, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And consistency, to me, isn't always easy. It doesn't always mean that you're prepared. It doesn't always mean that you're ready and you have things pre-planned. Sometimes we're going on the fly. Sometimes people are literally flying out of places, and me and Adam's doing podcasts. It's the goal is to produce valuable content each and every single week in and week out, without missing a week, 250 times in a row. I mean, there's people that sometimes don't even brush their teeth 250 days in a row, right? Like that is kind of difficult to do.
A secret, but.
Well, it's all right. I didn't mention names, but you just called yourself out on that. On another note, the other thing that's been very consistent this entire time is how uncomfortable these seats are.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
We do have the most uncomfortable seats.
There might be an idea there of I need you only in the seat for 30 minutes.
I think
so
that's why.
The quicker I can get you out of the seat, the quicker I can get to editing.
Can we talk to like
getting
who's
all
ever
of
in
that.
charge of finance, and maybe we can get some
There's
more
been
seats
about
ordered?
there's been about 4 or
Oh, is that
5
me?
episodes
That's you.
where Chris couldn't get out of the seat.
Oh, stuck. I needed help getting up.
We definitely need some new seats.
We can work on that.
Can we get some like lounger back chairs with like the recliner?
That would be nice. But I think he's afraid we'd stay in and do an hour and a half podcast.
It'd turn into
feel
Joe
like-
Rogan where we got 5-hour
Yeah.
podcasts.
And we talk about aliens. Have you guys seen that stuff? I'm just kidding.
Man, we can go down a rabbit hole, Joe
right.
Rogan and aliens really quick.
I like the
So
light, though.
we're just going to look at this cake? Do we get to eat it later? I guess we're
I
eating it
figured we
later.
would eat it later. Let's
We're eating it
bring
later.
the value to
We're
the
eating it-
clients.
Whoops.
Oops.
That would have
Today's-
been priceless.
That would have been funny.
That would have been
All right.
absolutely
All right,
priceless.
let's go. Smile for him.
There we go.
Everyone, is this photo or video? What are we doing?
I don't know.
We're doing both and a video.
There we go.
Say episode 250.
Episode 250. It's awesome.
Let's go. And all that's, of course, live on the podcast.
Right.
So, yeah,
Right?
it's fun.
But back to the point, it is consistency. It's about showing up when you don't necessarily want to show up. I know, Zach, you had talked about it's easy selling insurance when you got Big Mo in your car.
Yeah.
And there's a social media trend that has came and probably gone by this point. But where you had motivation, it's a guy running in, he's super excited. I'll put something up, right there.
There we go.
But no, so motivation rolls in. It's big, it's loud, it's boisterous, it's easy to go. And then next you have discipline that walks in and goes, hey, it's time to go.
Yep.
And it's easy to ride that motivation train when it's fresh and new and you've got something that you're excited for. But when it gets tough, that's when motivation kind of gets a little, all right, man, so we got a thing to do today. I don't really want to do it, but, dial versus, hey,
He's
it's
going
9.
full on trainer mode.
He is.
That's
Go at him.
Well, I mean, you record 150 of these episodes, you gotta learn a thing or two.
And
250.
I've been learning for 150.
the enthusiasm piece of it, there's enthusiasm, motivation, and then discipline. And I think people do get into the life sales space because of they've seen exciting things. You can sell anywhere, and we talk about that guy walking down the beach and folks who are landing their helicopters. Did you guys know that life insurance sales is very lucrative? Stuff like that. So they're excited about the opportunity. But if you talk about the daily work without any of that, nobody would do it ever. Even I don't even know if we would do it.
And I guess what we're doing here in this episode is we want to discuss what we were going to talk about in this particular one, because it is 250. It's a milestone for us. If you're watching us for the first time, you're thinking it's not a milestone for me. It's my first episode. What does this have to do with me? Well, this started out of a dream 4 years ago, 2000. We're 4 years into it now. In 2000, we started 2020. Sorry, 2020.
2024.
I'm trying to get the century and the decade. So we started in 2020. Adam was like, "You had the funny look on your face. We need the bubble. We need the thought bubble. What the hell?" We had 2020, and it was just audio. And I went back this morning and looked at our first videos. The first year of videos is just a thumbnail.
Yeah.
There's not even a face on there.
No.
There's weird thumbnails.
It's just
it's just
audio.
audio on the
That's
YouTube
it.
channel. Now, we were running on Apple and Spotify and all the others, but we literally just had a thumbnail with with
put
the
it on.
audio, like whatever that thing is when you're
Waveform.
listening, waveform thing happening, the entire video with no video on YouTube, which is a video platform. And it's like the entire first year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until year 2 that we started to release some. And then this guy comes along and puts it on steroids, and we go to the moon. And so,
But doesn't that perfectly reflect a new agent's journey?
well, I don't know if it perfectly reflects it, but it's indicative. It
They
resembles it.
don't really know what they're doing. They're doing it over and over again. They're struggling. They're not that confident. They're on the phone. Their voice is shaky. They're fighting their way through it. They don't know how off they are until they look back at an old script or an old recording of themselves a year later. The second year, everything enhances. Maybe you get more technology. Maybe you're plugged into a group. Maybe you're now mentoring other people. It's the same thing, but the truth that's underlying in both of them is that mundane, is that boring, is that secret sauce of being consistent when it isn't sexy, when it doesn't seem to be the most fun, when you're not the number one producer on the leaderboard. How to get up on Wednesday after Monday and Tuesday and continue to do the same thing. But how do you do that 30 weeks in a row? And that consistency where you lose the enthusiasm, because guess what? It's going to go, right?
Yeah.
When you lose parts of your motivation temporarily, how do you continue to push forward? Those are some of the things that are consistent, both in starting and building a podcast where we came and look at where we are now versus where we started, and a new agent. If a new agent's been in the business for 4 years since 2020, look at how they look, how they present themselves, how they talk, how their presentation is, how simple it is in their training, even if they are a mentor versus when they started. It's very similar.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? XCEL Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted XCEL now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/XCEL. Now, XCEL spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with XCEL Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career. So in your journey on life sales, if you're just getting started, it's going to feel like that. You're going to be excited at first. We were excited at first. And then it started to become mundane, and then it started to become kind of like routine, and it wasn't so much fun. And it got a little challenging, especially when our schedules didn't line up.
Yeah.
And there was issues. And then we were like, what are we talking about this week? Do we have any guests lined up? Is it just us? Do we have enough value to keep bringing to the market that they're going to keep listening? And you may be thinking that as a life agent, like, is this it? How do I get better? And you'll have all those same questions that run through your mind about your effectiveness, but it was interesting. I pulled up this post. I knew I had this somewhere. November 24th of 2000. There was a post, and it was a post from me, and I said...
2020?
What did I say?
2020.
November 24th, 2020. Is that what I said?
2000.
Man, I can't
You're
get
stuck
past
in
that.
Y2K
Yeah,
right now.
I'm stuck in there, yeah.
Y2K.
I still got the
It really happened.
I still got the food pack in my basement. I wonder if the food's still good in there. Those cases with the meat?
Yes.
With the meat.
Yeah, I
and
mind
the
the day I got it.
dehydrated soup. Yeah. Someone's probably still got that in their basement. You'd have to be over 24 Well, you'd have to be over 34 to even remember it. So there you go. And I said, correct action in a specific direction over time will yield massive results. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. And that was 4 years ago. And, you know, here we are 4 years later, still talking about the same principles, the same concepts, and we get more engagement today, more people reaching out today. We're able to help more people today than we ever have. And this thing is absolutely blown up. I mean, we are so thankful and appreciative for our audience, people who engage with us. We've met some of the coolest people along the way.
Oh, yeah.
We got this guy.
Incredible guests, you know. And I was even thinking about, you know, when we had Roman Caval on our podcast, and Roman talked about hating the first 20 calls. Every day, to this day, hates the first 20 calls. And, you know, he's a $600,000 producer, but he understands the effective activity moving in the same direction every day. Get up, get ready, get on the phone. Hate the first 20 and understand you're going to hate it, and then you get in your flow. That's it.
Yeah.
Get Big Mo on your side.
The more consistent you are in doing that same daily activity day in and day out, the more emotion leaves you when making those little small decisions. And actually was just on a coaching call this morning and had a question regarding the mental side of this business from an agent that has yet to sell anything. And it was all wrapped around the mindset and setting daily goals and how do you overcome those, being a new agent. And I told him, hey, like even to this day, been in this for a decade now, which is crazy. I mean, I was in this business when Chris had curly hair and Roger's hair was brown, right? Mine's on its way to look like them. So,
It's on its way.
But you're the only bobblehead that has brown hair.
For now.
Chris and I's are like white or gray.
They all looked like this when I started in this business.
Even our bobbleheads are going gray.
But even today, like whenever we're faced with these challenges and wherever we talk about consistency, the easiest way to break them down, in my opinion, is to make your decisions small and simple and more frequent. Instead of working hard for 3 months or running, this is going to be my best quarter, or this is going to be my best year, or hey, this next month, I'm going to give it everything I got, I'm going to be number one on the leaderboard this month. I still not good enough to do that, right? But if you break that decision down and say, regardless if my knee hurts today, right? Regardless if I have a headache, can I give today the best version of me? And you can usually answer that, yes. And you can go hard for one day, and you just have to recommit, re-ask yourself, remake that decision the next day. And that creates that consistency day in and day out. It eliminates emotions, and it makes it easy.
I'm going to say, like, I think you have to find what works for you. And I agree with you on that, making that choice every day. But I do know there are some people who they have to give themselves a time frame. It's almost like priming a pump on a lawnmower or something. Like I'm probably more inclined. You and I are wired very differently, but I am probably more inclined to say I'm going to focus for 1 month as hard as I can on something and just put my focus there and run. But I agree with you. It starts with one day, one decision every day. But for me, it's like the thing that pulls me into it. But that's me. I'm just saying that there are some people who may be wired like that. And if that's you, do whatever it takes. I don't care.
I would say that one of the biggest things, and I think a lot of people think that way, Chris. Like, I can give this everything I got for a month. The problem is they get to around week 3 or 4, and their month's up.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like,
100% great. Yeah.
it hasn't really produced exactly what I thought.
Right.
Like, had we quit on this thing a month in,
Oh. Well, we would have had 14 listeners,
it would have
maybe.
been terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like the process or the journey is really like success is a journey. It's not an immediate. It's not
a destination.
No, it's not a destination, but there are benchmarks along the way where you can measure success.
Yes.
There's certainly benchmarks, but it is a journey. It's not instant. Even a microwave oven takes 2 minutes to reheat an average plate, right? You got to sit there for 2 minutes.
That's what
that
I've been
2
doing,
minutes
Mark, just
sometimes kills people, that 2 minutes.
Just
You know,
staring at
why is the popcorn take 3.5 on some microwaves and 4 on others? And you got to wait. So even those things, they're not instant. You got to go through a process. It's got to go through some pressure to get on the other side. But along the journey, man, all this
Yes.
good stuff happens. So, like, we launched this thing in January of 2020, and nobody was listening. And literally 5 months later, the pandemic hit, and the world shut down, and we didn't know what we were going to do. We had to pivot. While we were pivoting to learn how to transition from face-to-face sales to telesales, everybody started listening to our content because they were trying to figure out, they were all at home, didn't have the same environment anymore. They were worried about what they were doing, and our subscribers started going up because people were at home trying to figure out how to be successful. We were in the process of doing it and putting out content at the same time, literally on the fly, in real time, learning, delivering in real time. And I think that's one of the best ways to learn.
Oh, I
like
agree.
when you're
I'm with
learning
you.
and you can turn around and teach someone else while you're doing it, it's one of the most powerful ways to learn, and you can get to your success so much faster, but you don't know what's coming at you.
Yeah.
Like, how many in the room, right? How many of you listening would say, yeah, I'd like for another major global catastrophe to come like the pandemic, because I know on the other side of that would be really good things. Nobody's voting for that. Nobody wants masks again, right? Nobody wants to have everybody fighting over whether the vaccine is viable.
Right.
But on the other side of it, man, came so many good things. Technology changed. Insurance companies had to change. They had to adapt. You go through so much when you encounter these major obstacles that derail so many others. But if you're willing to push through, there's so much good on the other
I
side.
think there's a really important point to that, Roger. And when we talk about adaptation, we talk about, yes, we've done the same thing every week in the same studio for 250 weeks, right? But look how much the content has changed. Look how much the industry has changed from the products that are available, how you sell them. Players come in and out of the market, different strategies for over the phone or face to face. I mean,
Different lead types.
lead types.
Insurance companies have gone out of business in that same period of
But
time.
when you're in the
Left market
hunt, you feel like this is it. This is all we'll ever have. We're going to get out. But the important thing is, the thing that never changes is the principles. The principles stay the same. Who you are, talking about even like the sales principles that we teach in and out, regardless how the industry changes, all that is exactly the same. And that is what is so cool. When you have the right principles, you have the right team, it doesn't matter what happens in your podcast, in your business, in your team. It may feel that it's mundane, but it's always adapting. Heck, looking at the back of a producer's guide to run an equation to figure out a price quote and mailing in an application to what it is today.
With a fax. You need to buy a fax machine back then.
Yeah, I mean, you snap two fingers and it's submitted and approved somehow. Like, it's crazy how things have changed, but the principles do not.
What is going on? Yeah. And one of the things I was thinking through on this is this consistency in the principles and the sales process and who we are is a consistent belief in your ability to serve the market, the process that you've committed to, and also the products that you're offering. And that's true for us and in this podcast. That's never really changed. And our belief in showing up every week for this. And
you just rolled your eyes a little bit.
I think of Adam, and he's standing at our door. He doesn't want to be that guy, Hey, we need to shoot a podcast.
It's recording time.
Yeah, it's recording
it's funny
time.
now, 3 years in, that first time of, guys, just so you know, we are going to need to record.
You're the insecure salesman.
Today.
He was.
versus now it's, hey, podcast today?
He's assumed the sale.
And that's how you book an appointment, Adam. Thank you.
That's it. Now he's got Miranda.
You're going to walk down the hall.
True.
There's the studio's at the end of the hall.
He
and
lets
we'll see you there
Miranda
in a
know
moment.
we're
There'll
ready. Can you go get him?
We're good to go.
That's how it works.
Miranda shows up.
Yes.
Yeah. So what have been some of your? So you've watched us on this journey. You've been a part of the journey. What have you seen us struggle with the most, and what has been some of the most challenging things to keep producing consistently? What has been some of the most challenging parts for your job to make sure we produce consistently, from our perspective and yours, like from what you've seen us go through and yours?
And who's the fan favorite besides me?
I mean, the fan favorite is the bobbleheads. We've discussed this. It has been covered.
You haven't introduced him to the unicorn.
That's, not yet. That might
It's a
come up
special
soon.
episode, just saying.
But no,
Great.
just the growth. I think one of the biggest challenges has been determining what agents need to hear versus what they want to hear.
Yeah.
What everyone wants to hear is, say these words, ask these questions, buy these leads, 6 figures. Done. End of podcast.
Magic.
Right?
Just repeat that every week in a different way.
Exactly.
Everything.
So it's our ability, or you all's ability, to listen to agents one-on-one, listen to teams of where they're struggling, and then kind of how to rework to make that something beneficial. I understand from editing a lot of this that it might be buried in a little bit of character, let's call it, but the information is there. I did look directly at Chris
Thank you.
when I said that. But the ability of finding the time versus making the time to be able to sit down. These guys are running a business, and they're still making it a point to spend 30 minutes minimum with me in a room in front of cameras to bring you value, to make you a better life insurance agent. So just
Tell them, Adam.
in that, but so when I first got here, it was, I was very timid, and to be perfectly honest, I was woefully unprepared for the position. Like a lot of people that are
You
walking
didn't even
into
know
this.
English yet, and we.
C'était très difficile parce que mon français, c'est le premier langue, donc,
He just goes to
You just
French.
convinced everybody.
right
He
there.
just goes to French right away.
Fun
I gotta
survey
flex.
question, how many languages is Adam conversational in?
Good question.
So, no, but, even me walking in, I had a background in audio.
Does it matter
thinks
if
it's
they're
4.
listening to you, though? Does that count as a conversation?
Well, it's, how much you can contribute to that. But no, back to the point. As Chris says, no jokes.
No jokes. No jokes.
We have a cutout. Sorry, I just needed an opportunity to drop that into an episode. But no, I came in with a strong audio background. I had an understanding of how microphones work, audio capture, editing, things like that. My knowledge in cameras and video editing was there, but it was minimal. You guys gave me the opportunity to really grow and learn and make something of it, but it's just in that showing up every week. What are we going to do this week? Well, we need to adjust the studio. Well, we don't like the way that L-shaped table looks where we can see our legs underneath. How can we adjust and adapt? And it is just that simple. Like, I hate to say it, there is no secret sauce. There is no magic word, magic question, perfect lead. It's just walking up to the problem and then focusing on the solution. If you're not getting enough sales, well, okay, why? Are you not making enough dials? Are you not asking the right questions? Are you paying attention to tonality? It's
Are you
all that
showing up
same
every
thing.
day, and are you
showing up?
delivering every day?
Exactly. And trying to make yourself better every day.
Yeah.
I had an instructor that always used to say the concept of giving it 110% is bogus. Well, PG it. It's not a thing. If you give 110%, you would literally fall over dead. Wouldn't happen. He always said, focus on giving 100% effort 100% of the time. If you're giving 110% effort 10% of the time, you're still only manufacturing what you can do 10% of the time versus trying to be as good as you can be at whatever it is, video editing, podcast production, life insurance sales. That's it. Just what can I do today to make myself a better whatever it is that you're doing by tomorrow?
I think one of the things I really like, Adam, in your conversation about this, and it goes back to a principle. Like, could we say this is a magic phrase that will get you a sale every time and throw that as clickbait on the YouTube machine?
That's our next podcast, right?
and slam our audience, maybe. But for us, it is about
You
bringing.
mean we can't help them get a sale next time?
I don't know the magic word. No, we can help them get sales, but we have done it through commitment to bringing value. That's how we've done it, and that is true for a life agent. If they are committed to bringing value to a client, they will get more sales. Their audience will grow. It's the same.
Who's been some of your favorite guests we've had?
Oh man, I can't do that.
Like, we've met so many.
Right.
You're going to meet, so in your life insurance journey, you're going to meet so many people that help you level up.
Yeah.
You're going to meet clients that change how you think about benefits.
Oh,
You're going to
yeah.
meet clients that change how you think about referrals. like these are all experiences that build, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll throw that out there. Who's been some of your favorite guests? Who's been some of the highlights? Some ones that stand out? I mean, we can't. Yeah, it's hard to pick them all out. And why didn't they say me?
Right.
Yeah.
I got a call from Marlon Faulkner this last week just to
Did
say
you really?
hi. Yeah, just to check in, tell me he was praying for me. That he came to mind. So I know that's one of our top podcasts from the early days.
Marlon delivered some science on that one.
Yeah,
he said
Powerful.
there's 6 questions, and I remember him having to use the extra hand in his, who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you go back to Marlon's video, the one we did, it's got like 128,000 views on it or something like that.
Very strong. Mm-hmm.
He hits how he implements those things to connect with the client, to uncover the real need, and then deliver the solution. So,
and it's not even just the guest. It's we've been able to build relationships with these people. Like he's a friend. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I took something away from his episodes as well. He dropped a line. It's your choice to be offended. And it was just something that kind of took me aback because I was still learning in this environment. That was one of my first episodes. And Roger is very much an eye for detail, very much can point out the one thing that's not quite right. Why is this there? And at the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I'd go home, Marie, it's so insignificant a detail. However, in doing that and then choosing not to be offended by it by looking at it through someone else's eyes, it's made me better at what I do.
I'm finding this out now.
And I'm doing it recording
100 episodes later.
So I can't get yelled at.
I think one thing that's
how you
super cool is we meet so many people at events and get to see people that they're like, oh, I feel like we've known you, we've been listening to you, or your voice, or hey, you're a lot taller than I expected you to be, or whatever the case may be. Is they always point out an episode that really impacted them, and it's different every single time. It's a different guest. I mean, I just was telling Adam, I had somebody come reach out to me within the last month, and they said one of their most impactful episodes was me and Adam coming on. Adam's first time being on the podcast, and it was talking about social media and marketing yourself to success in life insurance. But everybody I meet, it's a different episode that sticks out to them. And I think that is so cool because we are all looking for something different. We are all struggling in different ways. The one thing is similar is we all want to be successful in life insurance. And something that will appeal to one of us that we need, and I think we do a great job of expanding our content in a way that we have something for everybody. And once that gets you in, you will find that everything is for you.
Like I just pulled up our comments from our we can pull up the studio app for YouTube and we get to see all the latest comments. So here's one that just came in today. Watching from Ireland. Love the podcast. Info is just as applicable here. And that came from selling life insurance, managing expectations with leads.
Loki the Leprechaun, thank you, buddy.
Right,
Appreciate
there
it.
you go.
Magically delicious.
Another one. Glad I got to see this video. I'm certain I'll push greatly with these questions. That one came from the 6 questions
with Marlon.
Oh, nice.
That's Marlon's episode.
Wow.
We still get comments on the episodes where it's just a thumbnail and audio.
Do we really?
Because people will find us, and then what do you do when you find a podcast that you like? Well, start from the top and see what we got, and people will still go back. And
this one came in yesterday. I'm from Kenya, and it's in East Africa, and I have not yet gone to Mount Kilimanjaro. So that being said, I'll go there this coming 2025. Shame on me, Roger. You got there first. We get these things from all over the world, and it's a cool experience to be able to be a part of that journey with people and to have them engage with you. At all different levels. I mean, we've had Mike Cortang, Jalen Talley are probably 2 of the most memorable that we've had on. 2 young guys out of Columbus, Ohio with True Wealth Financial came in here looking for a way to grow and scale their business. I think we recorded them on a Saturday or a Friday afternoon, late one. I think their first episode.
Yeah, Friday.
They brought us
hoodies with their
cool.
brand on it.
Yeah.
And that did it for us.
Yeah.
We did an episode, and that episode blew up, and their company has blown up. They've had agents on their group that have been on with us.
Caroline
Tricardon, yeah. And these people all have come and gotten in the business since we started this. Yeah. And now they're massively successful. And you see these progressions along the way. There's just a lot of people from Ed Pritchett has been on. I got to interview Ed in Springfield, Missouri, when we were there speaking at an event. And I've traveled with Ed and his wife. My wife and I have been on trips with them in different places around the world, but got to interview him. He's doing some really cool things in the insurance space. I mean, the list.
Oh, yeah. I think Jonathan Henderson's been on 14 times. I don't know if it's that many.
Yeah, E320.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's close.
Kevin Montez was a good one. Kevin's in Vegas now, lighting it up, doing telesales, transitioned in here over a year ago and transitioned to a different business model. Great story. Got disciplined on the numbers, on the activity, the things that he can control. Yeah. And just showing up every day. Alyssa, his fiance, nurse, transitioning into the business. I mean, just story after story after story. Who's been some memorable ones for you guys?
You know, guys in the office here with us now taught me a valuable lesson. Tim's podcast.
Tim Wright.
Tim Wright's. Yeah, we struggled to get that one recorded for various technical reasons. We won't get into that. That's not mattered. But I remember being kind of hesitant, like, I don't know. Oh, is this really going to be kind of in the brand, this, that, and the other? But you and I actually discussed it and put it up there. And it wasn't a week later that we got somebody that commented, I needed to hear this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That kind of took me aback of it's not about what I think or even what we think the agent's going to take away. It's our job just to put those experiences out there because there is someone out there that will benefit from your story, no matter who you are.
I think another thing that's really special is we've literally had people just show up at our office, just out of nowhere, and they're like, "Hey, I was listening to the podcast, and somehow I found out that your studio's in Louisville, Kentucky, and I figured, hey, I'm passing through, or I'm flying through, or hey, I work 2 miles away, and I didn't even know it, and I've been listening to this for a year, and I just wanted to stop by." And, we had a young guy named Chase that came in and had literally a full list of questions about the life insurance industry. Yeah. And I said, I'm not answering any of those questions. We're going to do a podcast. We'll do it live. And that was a really cool one because it was so organic and natural of where these questions came from somebody that's been a listener. But just the numerous people, and we appreciate it when you guys stop by and come check out the studio and get to hang out with us for a little bit. That's so fun, and just want to let you guys know that is available at any time if y'all want to stop by for sure.
Louisville, Kentucky.
So yeah, just the journey of pushing through when things are not always easy and convenient. When we've been traveling, we've had to do remote videos. We've had to do remote podcasts. We bring people in on Zoom sometimes, and sometimes their audio goes out. There's all kinds of challenges.
Can't get cameras to work.
I know.
There's no power on a cruise ship that matches anything you brought.
Yeah. The fact that you just said cruise ship
this
on the
great
podcast.
idea that we're going to film a podcast on a cruise ship, and
I think that was your idea, and I didn't think it was a great one because I was like,
Chris
nobody wants to sit down for 45 minutes on a cruise.
And I'm Two Sexies blasting, and they're doing some walkway contest or something.
You
like
were in
that.
that, weren't you?
Yeah, well, winners.
I don't remember one time you saying, "Are we ready to record?" the entire week. Yeah, not once, but he brought all of his gear because it was your idea.
Carry everything.
I drug a case full of gear to the Bahamas just to bring it back.
There's Chris Ball. And then there's Vegas Chris, and then there's Vacation Chris.
That's right.
3 very different people.
I'm very...
the personas are unique.
I'm very adaptable. That's the key word.
So, this chocolate cake is killing me. I'm smelling it the whole time. We have no plates.
Grab a chunk.
I know.
I want to get into this.
Go for it.
Want to get into it. We're going to eat it and have some. But the thing that we want you to remember is that consistent action every day that is producing some result. If you stay with it over and over, I think Coach Michael Burt says a long obedience in a specific direction produces results. Same concept of just staying focused and doing the mundane. So this might be the most boring, most interesting, or exciting podcast you've ever listened to, and all three of those words may be able to describe it.
This episode is to celebrate them, right?
Yeah.
Because without them, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have got to 250 episodes without the comments, without the likes, without the shares, without the expansion, and the subscribers. I mean, more than anything, like, we thank you guys for that. That is very important to us. You're the reason why we do this. Even if we never get a chance to actually meet you, we want to feel that we have made an impact and we can help you in any way. But don't get that wrong. We would all love to meet you. If you're at an event, you see our booth, come talk to us, come hang out with us. We may have some gear for you. But reach out. Like, don't be afraid to leave comments on any videos. Don't be afraid to like them and share them. If you get value from it, there's probably somebody on your team or somebody you're connected with. They may also get value. And if you've ever gotten any value from any episodes, we ask graciously that you do subscribe to our channels.
Do you have chocolate on your finger?
I'm over here eating chocolate with my finger.
Rogers.
Yeah, look,
Trying
I'm
to
getting
devour
into
this
it.
cake. Fingerful at a time.
That's it. All right, take us out.
Well, me? You're going to put me to? I'm focused on making sure everything's still recording.
Take us out.
What's?
Hey,
wrap.
wrap.
That's right. Good job,
Wrap.
Jack.
So, man, how do you guys normally wrap this? I make fun of you guys.
You're the one that does this all the
You
time.
can't ask that
Right?
question when we're
Right?
on the podcast, man.
All right, take us out.
Well, guys, please reach out, like, subscribe, do all the things the cool kids are doing, as the kids say nowadays, if you think about it.
He's saying all our lines.
What's my line?
I can't remember now off the top of my head.
I'm glad I don't have one that's repeating.
Not repeating. Again, thank you for liking and listening to this episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you on episode 251 next week. Out.
Out. That is good.